In the last 24 hours, actually, quite a lot has happened with the government. Investors concerned about the stability of the Italian government. Will this government survive?
Yes, it will. I think there is misperception. I saw some in the press because what happened is actually only a change in the leadership of a party, which is not changing its position vis-à-vis the government. So Di Maio will remain the foreign affairs minister, and the party has already said that they are strongly committed to stability of the government. So nothing will change.
Okay, can the Prime Minister, Mr. Conte, actually survive if Salvini wins in regional elections?
Of course. Who will be worst off will be the citizens of Emilia-Romagna, who has currently one of the best local government of Europe, and the risk to have a very, very worse government, because the person who is candidate for the far right is everybody knows that is not up to this responsibility. But Salvini is trying to politicize this election, but they are local elections. So I'm confident that Bonaccini will win, but whatever will happen will not change anything at the national level.
But, Minister, I understand you think there's a problem of perception, but actually changing, right, the leadership of the coalition partner is always dangerous because it weakens that partner. Do you not think?
No, because it depends if the change in the leadership produce a change in the line of the party. Okay. Actually, the change in the leadership is likely to have an even stronger commitment to the government. So that's what happened. So Di Maio was committed there, but he was even considered among those who represented a bit more the continuity also with the previous government. But I worked very well with him. I'm happy he remained foreign minister. But there is not in the debate of the five-star the option to change line. So what we can have is a continuation of this alliance or a strengthening of this alliance. These are only the two options. So, and if you look at the numbers, for every vote in the parliament we are having, we had just a few days ago one of the was supposed to be contentious bank decree and was a very, very broad majority. So we have very strong numbers in the parliament in both chambers. And the government will continue up the end of the legislative term.
Italy's productivity has been stagnant for over 20 years. How will you counter this?
Yeah, this is really one of the big structural problems of Italy. We have to address the problem of productivity in a comprehensive way. We are addressing, for instance, the demographic issues, supporting female participation to work with some very specific measures we have already adopted. We want to boost investment, in particular in the area of innovation and sustainability, to help our companies with public and private investment, also with the partnership between public and private partners, to boost the capacity of our manufacturing sector, which is quite resilient, actually. He performed very well even during the slowdown, to get all the opportunity of the fourth industrial revolution. Yeah. So to integrate, for instance, in our production of machinery, the Internet of Things, you know, this kind of artificial intelligence, to make also of our ambition to be the one who will respect the new targets of carbon reduction, also an opportunity to improve our productivity. So that's our challenge, and we are very focused on that now.
Minister, this government seems to be much more interventionist, from Ilva to Alitalia to some of the banks. What message does that give to investors? Do you get a lot of questions from them on this?
No, I mean, we are simply deploying all the policy tools to support growth, productivity, investment. But we want to do this in a close partnership with business sector. Actually, we want to listen from them where and how we can use the tools we have in order to support growth, jobs, and productivity. For instance, we deployed a lot of investments in a way to mobilize private investment, actually. Industry 4.0, we did a fund, a Green New Deal fund, which is a bit like the Juncker Plan fund, that is supposed exactly to mobilize, to help private investment, to crowd in. We want crowding private investment, and we are also discussing with them, with all the stakeholders, a bit this like the stakeholder philosophy here in Davos, line of action that are conducive to more growth, to more jobs, to more innovation, to more productivity.
But on trying to help private companies, can Italy afford this? Do you have the money for this?
We don't want to help ailing companies. I think we want to support a positive opportunity of innovation. That's the area where we are focused. Of course, there are situations of crisis we have inherited from the past, but for them, we want market solution. For instance, on ILVA, we will put a stake on that, but we wanted to have the private owners of the company on board. So we are negotiating with them. We want ILVA to remain a private company with a private majority, and that's our line.
Okay, how many questions do you get about Autostrade? Italy is also thinking of removing licenses from Autostrade to operate the toll roads.
We have to restore a situation which is up to international standard and also to the Italian law, because that was really a unique, peculiar situation. It's very complex, it will take too long, but of course we are looking for a balanced solution.
Okay, which would look like what? So if the Bentons say, I'll spend this amount of money to regenerate, do they keep the licenses, or the thinking is everything's open at the moment, or has the Italian government already made up its mind?
I mean, the Ministry of Infrastructure is finalizing its assessment, and this is a really technical procedure, so we will wait for their conclusion. But whatever will be the scenario, we will also contribute to ensure that is implemented in a balanced way. So,
Minister, do you worry about a real recession taking hold of Italy in the next 2 years?
No, we are confident. This year we have been very prudent in the forecast. We say 0.1, now we are between 0.2, 0.3 in the last year, in 2019. We think we will get our forecast for 0.6 in 20. Of course, we want to do better. Our fiscal numbers are getting better than expected, so our fiscal revenues are increasing. So I'm confident that we are sufficiently resilient also to take the opportunity of a launch of growth, which depends also on a number of conditions. We are not related only to Italy, but we are giving our contribution with our policy on investment and reforms. So we strongly believe that the EU level is important also, a kind of on the fiscal side, to be supportive to growth. We support also the accommodative monetary stance by the ECB. So we need a policy mix at national European level conducive to growth.